It's 4:20 somewhere, and right now that somewhere is right here. Hello, I'm Janae Burris.
And I'm Jake Brown. Welcome to the Cannabis Show, where we talk all things weed. Another week, another weed. How are you, Janae?
I'm surviving.
Yeah?
Made it back from seeing my second family in Boise. Hey kids, mom misses you again.
What are they up to?
Well, I got to go to Idaho Falls Pride. That was great. Hey, the room was packed full of people. It was the spot to be.
Okay.
And we got to go to Ketchum, which is a ski town. That was really lovely.
I never knew that Idaho had such just natural beauty to it.
Yeah, it actually does. I mean,
Did you see the falls in Idaho Falls?
I didn't see the falls.
Are there even falls in Idaho?
I don't know,
now,
man.
Idaho is so
saw-
mad. They're screaming at their iTunes right now.
I saw a couple of check cashing places, some train tracks. Beautiful.
I saw my favorite check cashing place last night on Colfax. It's where we hid, like the one New Year's Eve, it was like -20 here. We had to hide the check cashing place because no cabs had come for us. That was fun.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
I got all of my fake jewelry stolen out of my luggage.
What? All right,
Joke's
was
on
it-
you, sucker. It was all from Forever 21. Shoot.
Who does that? Wait, so did you check a bag?
I checked the bag.
And then TSA went through and was like,
I
A little
guess.
for us.
It was like all in a cute little bag, so maybe at a glance it looked like something, but it was like just a bunch of little H&M, Claire stuff.
Cheap
one
jewelry.
$5 ring from a thrift store that I really loved, and one little necklace that had glass on it. It kind of looked like a Coke mirror, but like an old school, like a vampire Coke mirror.
Sure.
But
Like
it wasn't. It was just cute. You
Because
can
we
watch
all
other.
know vampires love mirrors. It's one of their favorite
For their
things.
Coke, at least. I don't know how they did it back then, but it's all gone. And my vaporizer pen, my cute little thing from Shotgun Willie's, is gone.
Well, can you describe the vaporizer pen in case anybody's on the case?
It was in a cute little box. It could also do like dabs or stuff in it, and
Okay.
concentrates. It
Dabs
was
or
really
stuff in it.
cute. Mostly I bought it because it was cute and convenient, and it was worth stealing. More so than I mean, that was $30. The jewelry bag total $22 at the most. Total.
All right. Well,
How about
let's
you?
get
What's
on the
going on with
case.
you?
It's my fiance's birthday on
Ooh,
Sunday.
She's finally legal. Good.
Yes, the age of consent is 30 in Colorado, so
She's
we're
legal.
It's her dirty 30. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
Sam.
Tiny Dynamite.
Tiny Dynamite. Now it's time for the week in weed, and let's start in Georgia. It's time to retire Hotlanta, everybody. A term my friends from the city insist no one ever says, and dub it Potlanta after the city council unanimously decided to decriminalize small amounts of cannabis in the city. Possession of an ounce or less no longer carries any jail time. Fine has been reduced from $1,000 to a max of $75. Good
Nice.
looking out, Atlanta or Potlanta. Several council members believe this move will help address the striking racial disparities in cannabis arrests, where between 2014 and 2016, 92% of those busted for possession were African American and 85% were male. 92%. That's ridiculous. The move comes days too late for Potlanta's own young thug, who was pulled over and arrested for pot on September 28th. Although the change in laws probably wouldn't have helped with his gun charges.
Uh-oh. Not at all. That would not help. Hey there, just outside of Tombstone, Arizona, a town made famous by the gunfight at OK Corral, Wyatt Earp, and terrible cracker-like pizza. Two drivers of a Mexican tour bus were arrested after 320 pounds of marijuana were found in a hidden compartment. A Border Patrol drug-sniffing dog alerted agents to the 264 bricks of marijuana. Record scratch. Yes, you heard right. Mexican brick weed, y'all. Maybe the guys were trying to deliver a little bit of nostalgia to the people of America. Remember high school, Mom? Remember skunking it up in the garage with Grandpa's stash? Remember smoking and smoking and smoking and never really getting high? Good times, yeah. Of course, Arizona voters declined to approve medical marijuana, so maybe they don't really remember any of the fun. Authorities say the marijuana was valued at $159,000, to which Colorado residents might respond, "No thanks, bro."
All right, well, it's time for another edition of Jake's Fired Up. This week, fired up about pretentious people saying the terms indica, sativa, and hybrid don't matter. I get it, you're so smart for pointing out that they started as terms to describe how a plant grows. kudos. You have cursory understanding of plant anatomy, but don't go patting yourself on the back over it. No self-respecting bud tender would ever say that every sativa is an upper or every indica puts you into couch. So quit pretending that's the case. It's true that terpenes play a role in determining your high. That's why strains with a more active, alert terpene profile are generally called sativa. What you really have a problem with is growers and dispensaries incorrectly classifying strains, not the nomenclature. While I agree this three-party system is not always ideal, it's a great way for novices to digest what is a ton of information on cannabis when they're just starting out, the same way people start with red or white wine instead of browbeating them about the particular varietals and tannins they contain. Fired up, Janae.
Love it. Let's cool this dude down over here.
That is a sweat.
I mean, he's fired up. He's on a rant, and he even mentioned varietals. I mean, he's heated right now, y'all. All right. This week, we lost one of the greatest voices in American music, a true artist, Tom Petty, the lead singer of the Heartbreakers, a group he assembled back in his hometown of Gainesville, Florida, when he was just a teen. He suffered cardiac arrest and passed away Monday, just days after completing a 40th anniversary tour. Mr. Petty was a personal influence of myself and on my own journey as an artist. A decade ago, just before I started to explore stand-up comedy after several disappointing seasons trying to work as an actor in LA, my good friend and diehard Tom Petty fan shared with me the 2007 rockumentary Running Down a Dream. The doc features countless interviews, photos, behind-the-scenes video, and early band recordings. Just like Jesus gathering disciples, when he was just a teen, young Tom assembled a close group of friends to accompany him on his journey to rock and roll legendary status. Throughout his life, his drive, talent, and unwavering belief in his own potential for greatness drew musicians like a moth to a flame, and his band, the Heartbreakers, saw many members come and go. My favorite quote from the documentary comes when Petty talks about the big move from Florida to California, where he so deeply believed in his abilities that he was able to talk the father of his bandmate and best friend, Ben Tench, into giving the boys his car and blessings to move to LA. That's how badass he was. Petty says, we've got something good, the world just doesn't know it yet. And thus, they spread their talents throughout the world. That quote gave me life for so long and inspired me to share my own talents more boldly and proudly. Mr. Petty was also a regular marijuana user and was once quoted as saying, "I'm mostly just a reefer guy. It's a musical drug." Thank you for your music and your artistry and your wisdom, Tom Petty. Oh yeah, Hugh Hefner died too. Jake?
I got a little choked up there, and then you threw in the Hugh Hefner joke.
Because I needed a joke. That's what I do, but this is my Tom Petty shirt that my friend brought me from a concert. She got to go see him at Hollywood Bowl, too, just last week. So.
Well, and Alita had a really good piece on the website if you go on kind of, memorializing Tom Petty, and this is a tough week out there.
It's a tough week. You got to check out Running on a Dream. It's on Netflix if you get a chance. If you're an artist, it's inspirational. It's just like, no, dude, you got this. You know what you're doing. You got talent. Forget everybody else who's not believing in you. Let's just go do this. So it really inspired me for a long time when I was like ready to quit and be like, never mind.
All right, and it looks like I got some Netflix and chill in my future.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget what that means. Never mind. For more on this and all of these stories from the Week in Weed, visit us online at thecannabis.co. Now for a lesson in crafting an autumnal treat.
It's just a delicious flavor. It's sweet and earthy at the same time. We make some pumpkin fries, very much like sweet potato fries. They're just delicious. When you make pumpkin fries, what you need to do is to cut the pumpkin flesh into little French fry shapes. There it goes. Oh, nice. And you got to, of course, remove the fiber and the seeds. Then you peel the skin off. Where's that gator? So French fries about that long, French fries about that long. Cut a flat side so that it doesn't roll around on you. I'm gonna cut these about 1/4 of an inch thick. And toss it with any kind of flavoring mix that you want to use. I am going to do a savory flavoring mix with garlic powder, onion powder, curry powder, cayenne pepper, flavored salt, and olive oil. But you can also make a sweet mix out of things like brown sugar and maple syrup. Toss these really well in the spice and olive oil mixture so that they're all very well coated with it. We'll put them on a parchment-lined baking sheet, one single layer. You don't want them stacked on top of each other. They're already pretty. The oven preheated 350 for about half an hour or until they're cooked through. Let's see how these guys are coming along here. Wow, those are really nice. They kind of even have sweet potato fries beat.
Awesome job by Denver Post video ninja Amy Brothers on that. And as you may have noticed, those fries were not dosed. Those are just regular old fries. So we invite you, our guests, to think of your favorite way to mix in marijuana. And Janae, producer Vince, and I will give them a few of them a try on our Facebook feed in a few weeks. So what do you want? Medicated sauce, oil, something disgusting because you're on the internet?
Barbecue
Let
sauce.
us know and we'll try it. Our first guests this week are the minds behind a cannabis-inspired clothing company. Please join me welcoming Witt, Rabon, and Jamar Brown to the show. I like that.
How you doing?
What's
How you
going on,
doing?
guys? Thanks for coming on. How would you describe Dro?
Whoa.
The brand Dro. What kind of apparel do you guys make?
Basically, it's a streetwear brand. You know, we pretty much make cannabis-inspired clothing. A lot of our clothing's inspired through, different. It's kind of the old school drug smuggling operations before legality came about, and then just the whole hip hop scene as well.
Hip hop culture to
just-
your old dude over here to your hip hop artists that want all the dro. Your old dude want all the dro. Everybody want dro.
Okay, so it seems like if you're in cannabis fashion or cannabis-inspired fashion, you're either streetwear or you're making like hippie hemp stuff. Like,
Right.
Is that changing at all, or is that still kind of? It feels like it's very like A or B still.
No, well, it's becoming more mainstream. Like you're seeing more
Sure.
brands. Like if you go to Zoomies, you see nothing but Cookies and Jungle Boys clothing now, as opposed
Yeah.
to where you used to see, it was just skate and surf brands in those type of stores, and
Sure.
now it's more. People are looking for more culturally inspired stuff that makes them feel a certain way or represents what they're about. And with the whole legalization too, now everybody's coming out about, yeah, I smoke weed every day, where before they were, but only a few were, honest about it.
Yeah.
When I played basketball, I wouldn't post anything, and now I'm posting everything, and I feel good about posting it, and I'm happy about it.
There's a crazy story that Georgia Tech's talking about kind of changing the way that they want to approach how student athletes, or what the discussion is behind student athletes that use pot. And so they have like a 3 strikes program, and they're talking about you can get a strike removed from your record now if you can pass enough tests. I mean, can you believe that these are like conversations that are happening around sports now?
Yeah, because for me playing sports, you get tested 4 times or whatever, but pretty much everybody on your team, probably other than 2 people, are smoking weed. And they're smoking marijuana instead of popping all these pills and everything.
Sure.
Just to get through injuries and everything else without being just messing you up for further in life. Like 10 years later, you get surgery or whatever, and they pop you with all these pills, and next thing you know, you pretty much an addict or whatever, or you're just going to marijuana where it's naturally, it heals you. That's how I feel.
Well, JB, you played college ball, right?
I played college ball and I played professionally overseas for 8 years.
Okay. What was the experience like overseas trying to find weed?
Okay, so I give
You locked up abroad.
I give you one instance. I went to Turkey, got tested. Team manager was like, "Don't smoke no more." So that was cool. So I waited till the end of the season after the playoffs, and I had a teammate, and we had a soccer club, so it fit they got like 50,000 fans, and
Sure.
his apartment was looking over the building. So he told me to come over, and he only knew Turkish, and I'm only knowing English, but basketball universal. So as soon as I get over there, he just had a bag full of swag weed, and we smoked and watched the game the whole time, speaking to each other but not understanding each other, but understanding each other. So it's pretty much, you can find it, but there's different areas. Of course, you go to Amsterdam, whatever, you go find weed, but like I'm in Morocco, and they putting hash and tobacco, and like that's the best thing smoking.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, Moroccan hashes.
Weed brings people together, you know, bridging cultural
It's the
gaps.
universal
right
language of let's
Yes.
get high.
Yeah. Everybody's high.
So Dro started off in California. Now you're based here in Colorado. But I think it's crazy that you guys have such connections to like people, especially in the music industry. Like, where did that start for brands that are trying to like get out there and get some bigger exposure with things that are kind of cannabis themed?
I mean, I think, you know, you just have to do something that speaks to the artist and the culture, and it'll work. You know, I mean, and obviously you make something for yourself that you truly believe in as well. And I think if you do that, it translates over, and it's, you know, they observe that, and, you know, it becomes more real, as opposed to some brands that basically just come out and just immediately want to throw a bunch of money at somebody, and they think that's how it works.
It's organically, and you have every culture, like you have the marijuana culture, hip hop culture, athletes, that's all one culture at the same time, which when you do it organically and everything, and people just tend to just come to you or whatever, and it's for us it worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Just being organic and being true to the game, just pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you met us in Cali.
Yeah, I was in the desert in San Bernardino. It was 109 degrees, and I was sweating. I was having fever visions, I think. But yeah, like I ran into you guys, and immediately I was like, "Oh, this is a hit." Like I like the design, everything makes sense.
And then you're like, "Wait, you're in Denver?"
Right? Yeah. It's crazy how many people that you meet like in this industry though outside of where you're actually at. 'Cause everybody's kind of moving and doing a lot of different events. What do you guys have coming up in terms of like being out at events or things outside of Colorado per se?
Well, as far as outside of Colorado, we're going to be Chalice Fest lifers. I mean, that is besides the heat, I mean, I think that is one of some of the most fun I've ever had. You know, and even though I worked the whole entire time, next year I'm going to get to actually enjoy myself.
I had to do a photo shoot in 112 degree weather. Like, I had to take a bird bath in the tent. Hey, you got to get it done. You got to get it done.
Yeah, well, and then like the table across from you guys, it's just a guy with like pounds and turkey bags. Like who needs anything?
Oh yeah, it's a different world out in Cali when you can. You know, this one guy came and put 30 pounds. He had a backpack on, a big hiking pack, and they had 30 pounds in there. And he just came and sat down. He goes, "I'm sick of carrying this."
Yeah, can you watch
He goes,
this?
"Can you watch this for us?" What? I was like, I looked at him. I was like, "Man, if somebody takes that, don't come at me." And he's like, "You can get whatever you want." He goes, "I don't even really care if they take it." He goes, "I just don't want to carry it anymore." I was like, "Cool." I was like, "Thank you."
It was another guy who had a pound around his neck like a chain. And
on his lanyard. Yeah, that was his ID. ID on their lanyards. He had a pound.
And I'm like, "You really got a pound around your neck?" And talking about barbecue sauce, they had infused barbecue sauce, infused salsa.
Oh yeah, every food
everything.
truck there was medicated.
Yeah,
Yeah, the medicated taco trucks were the best.
When does this happen?
It's
You don't want to go to San
July.
Bernardino. No,
Yeah,
you'll come next time.
I've been to San Bernardino.
Well, have you been to Victorville? They call it
maybe a
Victimville
long
there.
time ago. I'm from California. Yes, I've been to all these terrible
there's
places.
definitely there's some mob
Chalice.
guys out in Victorville. You can tell.
It was just
buried out in Victorville.
There were people no one had shirts on. Everyone looked like they were either on their way to or just got done with a fight.
You sound traumatized a little bit.
Palm trees look sick.
But it was crazy.
Well, that's how I mean, Star Wars, the guys that live in the desert were all weird too. I mean, that's just how it is. You live in the desert, it just changes you, I guess.
When there was like such good music there. I mean, you know, like kind of 3 days. Big Boy was probably like one of the best shows I've seen this year. But you guys just you had Gucci Mane wearing your stuff? How did that happen?
On tour at the Pepsi. Pretty much, we've been dealing with Gucci and his DJ for since 420. So it's just been a relationship, and he wanted to see what that drill was about, so he put it on. Came on stage, and I'm not gonna lie, I was on the high rises, me and Witt, and you know, I don't really get excited a lot, but right there, I was like, oh. Went through security, we was running just to get pictures.
Oh yeah, it was. You see, I mean, because the whole entire floor crowd is right there, and we're all the way the very last spot you could be at in the floor. And we just look dead at each other and like eyes get big, and then he just clears a path all the way to the front. And I'm just running behind him. And I'm just running behind him with my camera. I'm like,
old security lady was like, hold on. I'm like, here go my credentials.
yeah, we were already the third security person by the time she even looked at it.
So, yeah, that was big. It's pretty good. Like,
I mean, that was a really good feeling to see something like that happen, because it lets you know you on a right path and doing something correct,
Yeah, when we have a lot of people that are in the cannabis industry that watch the show, and we see all these kind of celebrity brands out here, Chong's Choice, you've got Leafs by Snoop, Willie's Reserve, and there are a lot of cannabis companies that have hitched their wagon to kind of specific celebrities. How do you guys measure influencer marketing and kind of what the return even is when you have these crazy things happen, like Gucci's thrown on your...
I mean, it's, all that, the long-term tail end of that is you'll really never see it.
Sure.
You'll never, because it's there, but you're never really going to, 5 years from now, there's still going to be someone remember that, So it's, I think with with a lifestyle brand, it's different, because when celebrities organically, attach themselves to it or just wear it in general, it makes people, it goes further than, somebody just come out and saying, hey, buy this because I'm endorsing it.
Sure.
Where that's, most people know that's clearly a paid deal. Where, I don't know, I guess for like Willie's Reserve, Chong's Choice, like a celebrity aligning themselves to a product, especially a weed celebrity, is way bigger because everybody knows that Tommy Chong is pretty picky about his weed, or at least you hope he is.
Is he though? Is Tommy Chong? Like,
I don't know. I haven't.
I just think he got good weed all the way around.
Yeah, I've yet to try Tommy Chong stuff. I've had the Willie's Reserve, and it was.
Willie doesn't even know indica or sativa. Although, listen, we talked enough about that. But I look at some of these guys and I'm like,
it's called a varietal.
Willie is. I'm like, how much do these guys are they even involved? So I think what you're saying makes a great point.
I think they're probably not. I think their involvement is basically up to the deal, because somebody like Willie or Tommy might be like, no, I'm going to personally smoke every single batch of this that goes out and make sure my fans are getting what they deserve.
Sure.
Or they're just like, I don't really give a shit, just put my name on it and pay me a check.
Right.
But, I don't know what's going on there, but I've had the Willie's Reserve, and it was pretty damn good. So I was.
But when someone's wearing your brand, it's like, they don't just wear it and take a picture. They're walking around, and it's like constantly. I think they have to be into it and be comfortable to wear the brand.
Well, oh yeah, because the thing is, I wouldn't. If you gave me a Hello Kitty shirt, I'm not going to wear it. Even if you.
Ooh, are we going to talk smack about Hello Kitty now?
But
all right, I'm glad I didn't.
You were the Hello Kitty bro before Dro.
It's the influence too, because I really think when you got a certain, like, just say if a rapper got a DJ and the DJ is just wearing this and wearing it all the time, now the rapper's like, yo, what is this? What's going on?
And it just creates that conversation. Do you guys own the word Dro?
Yes, we actually do.
Where does it come from?
We federally trademarked the word
for hydroponics.
Oh, it's short for hydroponics.
Yeah, so it's short for
hydroponics. You knew that already?
Hey, listen, this is about your learning experience.
I learn a lot every show, so.
How do you guys keep going? Because there are a lot of companies that especially do apparel, and they kind of have their hit shirt, and then you never hear from them again. So how do you stay fresh, or where do you draw inspiration from as a company?
Mostly for a lot of the inspiration actually comes from our other business partner who is the designer of all the stuff.
Yeah.
He grew up in.
Get him on the phone.
What's his name?
Paul Espedo, Pauly Blunts on Instagram.
Pauly Blunts.
But so he grew up in Chihuahua, Mexico, and then he came across to the United States when he was 12 years old and learned to code and design before he could speak English. So Chihuahua, Mexico is a big, I would say, narcos community. So a lot of Dro is influenced from some stuff that he experienced as a child that, unfortunately he had to experience. And so that's where a lot of Dro comes from, is that it's influenced by hip hop, it's influenced through, just the culture, everything around you, what's going on.
The hip hop aspect, like I was just listening to a song from Jay-Z from back in '98, and he said Dro. You got Bone Thugs and Harmony, hi Dro, you just be letting me. Like all these songs got Dro in it, and it's the culture. Like I really feel like from back in the day to now, and it just keep rebranding itself. And we got it. Yeah, it's the word that stood the test of time.
Sure.
That word has been used in hip hop since, since the 80s. You've been hearing that in hip hop.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So-
What advice would you have for somebody who wants to break in? Because apparel is such a hard game to get into.
Long nights.
I would give them the same advice that somebody gave me, and this came from somebody who has been in the business for 30 years, and they told me, they said that if you can't sell your logo on a basic shirt, then you have no business being in the apparel world.
Yep. All right, that's great advice. I like it. All right, let's do some pot or not. It is time for America's favorite game show, according to me. The way it works, guys, I'm going to give you guys a word, a phrase, a something. You got to tell me, is it pot or is it something that is not pot? And we'll alternate who answers first each time. So you guys ready for pot or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Number one, Thunder Willie. Witt, you'll start off with this one. Thunder Willie, is that pot or not?
Varietal? No. Not.
Not.
It is not. Thunder Willie is not. That's a weird one that I made up.
Yeah, sound like Barno type.
All right, so let's
I had a girl
one
call me
each.
that before, I think.
Whoa.
Hey,
Whoa.
I was hoping we'd get there. All right, JB, you're going to start this one. Number two, Dirk Cutter.
I'll say yeah.
You got a yes?
You got that
Too
dirt
close, to
covered.
boogie, too close to Boogie Nights, not.
It is not. That is
but-
the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whoa.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to throw a Dirk Diggler reference.
All right, number three, Witt, you're leading off. Bear Dance.
Pot.
Bear Dance. Pot is correct. Some 303 seeds. All right.
Close to a golf course.
What?
Oh yeah, we did charity
Yeah, we
there.
did a charity event there.
Yeah, Bear Dance.
Bear Dance Golf Course. You got a
longest
lawsuit on your
It's
It's named
hands.
after
Go
the
after
weed. It's
303
named after the weed
seeds.
strain, so remember that when you play there.
Exactly. All right, JB, you're
Smoke
starting.
from Bear Dance.
Harmonia.
Harmonia.
Pot or not? Don't overthink it, guys.
Ooh. Yeah.
Got a yes?
Yeah.
Witt.
Extract? Not.
It is Harmonia, correct? For do we get like
Half
half a
Half
bell? All right, JB tied it up. That's from the farm. They had to rename their Gumby, so it's called Harmonia, which okay, it is what it is. Number five, who's starting? Witt, you start off. Isaac Hayes, spelled H-A-Z-E. Isaac Hayes.
Pot.
Pot?
Pot.
It is not pot.
Oh.
That one comes from Twitter user @Tobias1748. Sorry, that was the wrong
It's like
sentence.
smoking hay, people.
Tobias, you got a shirt coming your way. Congratulations.
No, I'm going to name one of my strings that.
Just make it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, like,
then come back,
fuck Tobias.
invent a time machine, and then
Yeah.
retake the pot.
How do you like that shit, Tobias?
All right, JB, you're kicking this one off with Peach Panther.
Pot.
Not.
It is not
Ah,
the Riff Raff album.
There's so many strains out there.
That's why the game's hard. Anything could be the name of it.
All right, so
Anything could be a
it's
pot.
4-3 now. Witt in the lead. Number 7, Washing Machine.
Is it his turn?
Whose turn is it?
No, it's your turn.
Not.
Nah.
It is. It's by Ripper Seeds.
What?
I know. Washington's a
What
bad
is
name.
it like
Yeah.
a strain
That's
of
what
what?
I'm-
Is
Who-
it?
Exodus cheese and Bubba Kush cross.
Does anybody actually grow it, or they just have it?
No, this is happening. Number 8, Keeman. Keeman.
It's on me. Where's on me?
Sure.
Pot.
Not.
It is not. That's Chinese black tea. Witt pulls ahead with 5 points. There's still a chance for
Some of
JB to
that
come back. Number 9, pineapple upside down cake.
I mean, let's say pot.
I say yeah.
It is pot.
Yeah.
That
Correct.
sounds good.
Seen that before.
Yeah, it's Humboldt Seed Company. Number 10, Sweet Tooth.
Pot.
Whoa, it's on me.
Oh, shit.
Minus 1 point for cutting in line. That takes it
Thank
down to
you.
5.
Sweet tooth. Let me get some of that sweet tooth. I'm imagining if I'm at the sweet tooth.
That's a good way to play the game. I like
I'll say
that
yeah.
strategy. Yes? Yes, that is correct. All right, Witt, congratulations. You're a winner with 7 points.
Hey.
Sweet. Where's my shirt?
That will take you
I want
on to the
Tobias'
Hall of
shirt.
Fame.
Where's our board?
Yeah, give me
where's the
Tobias'
Hall of Fame
shirt.
board? Vince,
I
where are you
grab it?
hiding it, dog? Oh yeah, well, podcast listeners will love it. We'll get the board out in just a minute.
wanna
First,
see
let's
the
do
board.
plugs. Guys, where can people find you online? Where can see the latest designs, all that good stuff?
DroLife.com, or check us out on Instagram @DroLife.
All right, Jay, what do you got going on?
October 6th, I hope to see you at my regular First Friday show, Pussy Bros Present, at Comedy Room. Later tonight at 10 p.m., I'll be hosting a comedy show in conjunction with the Great American Beer Fest over at Rack House Brewery. We've got Dusty Cobley Slay and Adeline Caden Holland joining us, as well as 2 super secret headliners, which you'd have to pay a lot more for if we told you who they were. Also, you guys, I'll be hosting all weekend at Comedy Works South for the Sklar Brothers. I'm so excited about that. So try to get those tickets on comedyworks.com. Follow me at Negative Negro on Twitter. And I got a website, JanaeBurris.com. Y'all find me there. Thank you, Ron Doyle, for your help.
Ron Doyle. And thanks to everybody who tuned in. You can also find me on Instagram at Big Jake Brown.
Is Witt going to be on here?
And this is our updated board. Thanks to at Vinny Chant for making it happen. Look, this is gorgeous. Pot or not.
Brand at the top, killing it.
I want to thank Witt and JB for joining us today. And thanks to you at home for tuning in. Send us in those Pot or Not suggestions. Twitter, Facebook. Hell, Instagram it, hashtag Pot or Not, and recent winners, Producer Vince is going to get you all of your swag. For Janae Burris, Producer Vince, and the whole Cannabis Show crew, I'm Jake Brown, and we'll see you next week.
Coming for you, baby.
Ain't afraid to get in, I be going for the jackpot with ace in my hand, I'm raw.